Hello, this is Amanda with From Where I Stamp. I'm here to share with you how to use the whimsical, um, not whimsical, Whimsy Wonder Designer Series paper. It is a specialty paper, and that means it has silver foil. So I'm excited to show you how it looks, show you that glimmer, because specialty paper is worth the extra little bit it costs. And but I'm not going to use the stamp set and dies that coordinate with it that are listed in the mini catalog. I'm going to use the Perfectly Plaid stamp set from the annual catalog, and with the tree punch as well. So I'm just going to switch cameras around here. All right. So we have the Whimsy and Wonder specialty paper. I should have just read it right off the paper, and then I wouldn't have to worry about it. But I love having these sheets because I can see all the designs in one. So it's something that when I'm looking for a particular design, I know that these two, this is one side, this is the back side. You can say the front and the back. So if I'm looking for the presents, I know that I have to look for either one because of how I store my paper. But I think you can see the little silver accents on the papers, and they're on the one side. So see how the ivy, and I guess it's ivy or holly has silver on it, but then the pink side doesn't. So the one side has silver, the other side doesn't. All right, so that is this. So what I should have done too is grab my mini catalog. It's right at hand. And the Whimsy and Wonder Suite is on pages 24 and 25 of the July to December mini catalog. And this stamp set, the Whimsical Trees, that's where I was getting whimsical from. The Whimsical Trees stamp set and the matching dies, they coordinate very well with this DSP. But I'm not a big fan of it. So what I've decided instead is to use the Perfectly Plaid stamp set and the Pine Tree Punch, which is down here in my bottom drawer of my desk. So we're going to use those two things together with some Misty Moonlight, because I've also listed the colors up here so I know when I pull out the sheet what colors. But the Pack Designer Series paper, see here, it has the colors listed. I know there's a glare, but there's colors listed. English and then in French. And then maybe German? Don't know. Okay, so we'll put that off to the side. Put that over here. So we are going to stamp with some Misty Moonlight for our card base. I already have it cut and scored, so it's something that I can just fold my card up, use my bone folder to get that nice crisp edge. Then I have cut this tree pattern, which has, to me, kind of these ugly baubles backside, but that's just me. I'm sorry if you like that page. But this one has, I guess, to me, it's kind of silly because it has a little deer, but that's just me. So I'm sorry if you like that page. Enjoy. I love this side of it though. All right, so then I have a strip of the holly berries going on here, and with this silver, because you got to have the silver on the page. And thinking of silver, I know I have more silver. So I cut a little strip of the silver foil. Now we do have silver foil in the annual catalog, but we also have, what is this thing called? Silver foil specialty pack. Now, I wasn't going to buy it, but then I saw someone using it, and I have to say that in the video it does look silver. Depending on the light, it kind of looks purple, and I'm team purple. So it is something that, to me right now, they could have a pink tone, but earlier they had purple. So they have a grain to them, if you can see that. This one and this one kind of have a green. This one's more flat. So it's a fun way to add some other color and shimmer to your card. So this, we're going to put this behind here. And we're just layering nice and simple. We're not going to do any die cutting. It's easy. Now, for this card, I've decided not to use Whisper White or Very Vanilla. Or not Whisper White, Basic White. That is very hard to remember not to say that one. Basic White. So I decided to use Crumb Cake. Crumb Cake is listed as one of the colors. It's listed, right? Yeah, Crumb Cake. It's listed as one of the colors. But when I look at this pack, I'm kind of confused of where the Crumb Cake is. Maybe with the presents? Anyhow, so I figured Crumb Cake is a nice neutral color. We could use that for stamping and our sentiment. So I have, actually, we're going to have this piece because I want to punch 2 trees and I want to put the sentiment on the card. And I have some Mossy Meadow ink and I forgot my black. I moved things around. I moved things around in my office a few weeks ago. Last week? Was it only last week? A week ago? So my ink pads that are normally on my desk, I moved them over there. So if I forget a color, I have to go a little farther for it. All right. So these are photopolymer. So I do suggest having something like the Deluxe Foam Matte to be able to get a proper image. And I was trying to think between Merry Christmas or Hoping That Your Busy Year Comes Together and Christmas Cheer. So I think I'm going to use the bigger one, because why not? All right. The nice thing about the photopolymer is that you can see through it. It makes it a lot easier to stamp your sentiments a lot straighter. All right. I'm not going to stamp it upside down, which is awesome. I think I'm going to make this a little smaller. Maybe I'll do that before I stamp. Okay. So, and you can also use it to kind of make sure you can see. You can figure out how big. So we just need like 1 1/4 inches maybe. How big your cardstock needs to be for your sentiments. You can do that with the Red River stamps as well, but not as easily sometimes. All right, we're going to add a little bit more black. This is just the Memento Black. It is the one I use the most. All right, so that looks better. I'm going to have to see if I can kind of center. Now, if you have the Stamparatus, you could use the Stamparatus a lot better to get this exactly where you wanted. I didn't do too bad a job. Stamp cleaner. I love my drawers. They fit our stamp cases perfectly. The drawers are from IKEA. And I'm just going to clean off my stamp using a Simply Chamois. And it's wet from like a week or 2 ago. Whenever I stamped last, I think about 2 weeks ago. And it doesn't go moldy in the stamp case. Oh, that did not come out. It doesn't go moldy in the stamp case, excuse me, because it's open. Like it's not completely airtight. All right. Oops, can't do that. Where's my little garbage? There we go. Always nice to have a little container on your desk or wherever you're crafting, so that way you can take the little bits and they're not all over the place. All right. So now, we have all that. Oh, I smushed it. To redo that. All right. Sometimes when the ink is extra juicy, so I'm gonna cut this at 4. So let's do this again. 4. Excuse me. What is it's a little extra juicy, sometimes it can smear. You can do it on the other side, but come on, move over. This one did not go on straight. The other nice thing about this deluxe foam mat is it has that grid on it, so you can line up the photopolymer stamps a little bit easier. Okay, let's try not to put as much ink. And that's not even straight. Can you see the line? Oh, how did I do that? Trying to do something too fast. So let's try this again. 1 1/4. There we go. Well, let's do 1 1/8 because I butchered that edge. Look at me go with all these mistakes today. But that is okay. All right. So let's stamp this down. I'm not touching it. I'm just going to move it off to the side and hopefully it doesn't smudge again. Okay. So now we are, stupid thing. All right, now we're going to do our trees. I want this one. So I need another block. Like so. I don't open my ink pads all the way. I know, I'm strange. But I find they're a little hard to open and close all the way. And for the amount of time I actually have it open, this works. So we're going to stamp 2 of these trees. Clean that off. Oops, you can't see that. Clean it off with the deluxe foam. No, not deluxe foam mat. I'm getting everything mixed up today. Punch. Clean it up with a Simply Chamois. And we go punch. And punch. There we go. Now we can put our card together. Easy peasy card with a couple hiccups along the way. So plop this right on the front. I like having a nice little edge around my cards for the most part. Tear tape, that's what I need. So you can also cut your designer series paper so that it covers the complete card front. Then you can use whatever card front color you or card base color you wanted. So I find with the foil, the tear and tape is the best adhesive because anything else usually shows through it. I'm not usually one that loses something. Oh, there it is. My tweezers. Makes it a lot easier to pull that sticky strip off. Okay. And then I use this deluxe foam mat to line up, because once you put something down on the tear tape, it's harder, not impossible, but harder to pull it up. So I wanted just a little bit over 1/4 inch on that. And then I'm going to do 2 little strips because the glue will show through and it'll look like the foil is buckling. So we'll do that, and then we'll put glue on that side. You could also use the take your pick tool. I'm always afraid of stabbing myself with it though. No. So that's why I use tweezers, but you could use the take your pick tool. Like I said, I'm just afraid of piercing myself. Okay, so this goes there. try and make it look straightish, something like that. And then next, we want to put our little trees. And then we're going to take our sentiment and we're going to use dimensionals to plop it up. Now you don't have to pop it up if you don't want to. I did have this. I don't think I cut. Did I cut this to the right size? It is cut to the right size. Okay. You can plop this down. It's not too big of a deal, but I like having a little bit of extra detail. That's why I love the dimensionals. It doesn't take much just to pop them up. All right, so let's have a look here first. See where we want these trees. Sometimes when I'm laying out a card and I'm not sure how I want it to look, I'll lay out things, and then before I take it apart, I'll take a picture of the card because, you know, sometimes it looked great and then I can't put it back together. Now, how do we want these trees? I think we'll do it so that the trees are kind of growing out of the sentiment. Let's do it that way. A little bit of glue on the back of this one. And I think we, ooh, no. Okay. Well, this tree is going over here because I got glue on the left side of my card. I tell you, some days everything goes the way it should. Other days you have more chance to embellish. All right. Let's see how ridiculous this looks. It doesn't look too bad. Not exactly how I pictured it, but that's okay. All right, so let's take a couple of these off. And line this up a little, like so and like so. There we go. Now you could add a little bit of twine to this if you wanted. You could add some rhinestones like I have on these two cards. So let me just move this stuff out of the way. So there's a card we did today using the Perfectly Plaid stamp set. Now to give you another idea with this stamp set and the designer paper, I haven't shared this one on my blog yet, so you get to see it first, is this card here. And oh no, this isn't using that stamp set. Sorry, I apologize. This one uses the Christmas to Remember stamp set with some of, or one of the snowflakes. So there's another idea using this designer series paper. And one other idea that I shared yesterday or Friday on my blog was this Love and Joy, which I now have the Come Wassailing song in my head ever since I made this card. And no, I'm not going to sing it for you. And see how I've added some of the rhinestones to the snowflakes? And I added some rhinestones to this card here too. So there are 3 ideas to use the Whimsy and Wonder designer series paper. I had to look up the titles still on the page. And it is $20 Canadian plus shipping and tax. And then the Perfectly Plaid and the Pine Tree Punch are in the annual catalog. I'm sorry, I don't remember the price, but they'll be listed in the description of this video. And if you enjoyed this video, please share with someone that you think that would love to have some Christmas card ideas or even holiday, because you don't need to use this paper for Christmas. You can do it for a winter snow day or just maybe a scrapbook page of your favorite books that you like to read beside the fire. So thank you very much for joining me.